Right, I'm just going to pick the Disney ears I want to wear for this video. I have quite a few. I'm going to go with... I'm going to go with the classic pink. Okay guys, welcome back to the video. So, I thought I'd actually do a bit of a Disney themed video today because I haven't obviously been to Disney now for a while. I'm really missing the magic, and I actually got a lot of questions at the time of both my Disney trips about like planning a Disney trip, sort of like cost breakdown and just everything that goes into this trip, because if you have thought about planning one or you've been, then you know it is not the kind of holiday that you just rock up to and see how it goes. You definitely need to have a plan, and obviously it's also not the cheapest, so it takes a lot of budgeting. So yeah, I thought I'd do one big video explaining how I planned for my trips, how I budgeted for them, cost, tips and tricks for like when you're there and things like that. I just thought that some people would find this video really interesting and helpful. I know that like this is how I learned a lot of stuff that I know about it, by watching videos and listening to other people talk about it. So yeah, thought that'd be a really nice video for today. Definitely grab yourself a drink and a snack though, because it's probably going to be a fairly long video. I could honestly sit and talk about Disney World for ages. I will try and keep it as short as possible because I don't want to bore people, but yeah, I just want to make it as like informative as possible. So yeah, I hope you've got a drink and a snack, and I hope you enjoy the video. So I have been to Disney, well in total I've been to Disney quite a few times, but in terms of the ones that I've actually paid for and planned for, there's two, because obviously when I was younger my parents did all the planning and they paid for everything, so I had no idea what was going on. I just was lucky enough to get taken there. But the last 2 years, so 2022 and 2023, I went with my partner. He'd never been before until 2022. We stayed off-site on Disney. I do have both playlists of Disney vlogs. I will link them below. I would definitely say the 2023 ones are a lot better because in 2022 I'd literally just started vlogging. I didn't have a camera or any of the right equipment, so I didn't really know what I was doing. So I definitely say that the 2023 ones are more of like a professional Disney vlog if you want to watch them. So I'll link them below so you can see what we got on with our trip. But yeah, I'm going to talk about my experience. Obviously I've not stayed on Disney on site before, although I am hoping to next year, which okay, I'll briefly talk about now. So obviously if you watch my channel you know that I am currently pregnant. I'm currently, I don't know how many months I am because it really confuses me, but I'm 23 weeks pregnant, so I'm over halfway. Baby boy is due in July and we are hoping to go in September 25, so he'll be about 14 months old. And because how much easier it'll be to stay on site in terms of like transport, because he can just get on the bus. I don't know how I feel about like trusting like car seats in America, like well, not just in America but just like abroad. I feel like I'm only going to trust my car seat, and to take my car seat all that way will be quite a bit of a nuisance, especially because I'm not actually sure where you can leave them in the park once you get there. So in terms of like transport, getting the buses to and from the parks, it is much easiest to stay on site. And we've never done it before, so it's something I'm really looking forward to. We're going to look at the deals. So the deals come out for Disney World trips, for specifically on site in April. So that's obviously next month. So we're going to have a look at the deals and potentially just pay a deposit, and then you don't actually have to pay the rest of the amount, I think, until like the following July. So like well, it depends when your trip is, but I think it would be like over a year that we'd have to save up and then fully decide if we're going to do it. So yeah, I'm going to base all of this off of staying off site. I'll briefly talk about my budget for next year's trip staying on site as well, so you can get a bit of knowledge about staying on site. But yeah, I obviously have the most knowledge of staying off site. Even when I went with my parents when I was younger, we always stayed off site because it obviously is the cheapest way to do it. So when we went the last 2 years, we stayed in a hotel called Ramada by Wyndham in Kissimmee. I think I'm saying that right. I'll put it on the screen below as well so you can see. It was about an 8 to 10 minute Uber from all the Disney parks. I think the closest one was Animal Kingdom at literally 8 minutes. Obviously depending on traffic, but that was roughly what it took every day. And then it was about 20 to 25 minutes from Universal, which for us worked out the best because we were spending most of the time at the Disney parks. We went to Universal I think 3 or 4 times, so obviously on those days it's going to be a bit pricier getting Ubers, but I would say the location was literally perfect. It was in Kissimmee and we had lots of things around us. We had a Walmart that was a 5-minute walk, so that was literally perfect because we could go and get like snacks and drinks and everything like that for the room. And then we had like a McDonald's that was about a 15-minute walk. We had loads of restaurants actually that was like walkable distance. If not, you could just get an Uber there if you didn't want to walk, but everything was in walkable distance. So yeah, the location was amazing. It didn't cost us much in Ubers to get to the parks. So yeah, it was literally a perfect location, and I can remember the exact price we paid last year. I can't remember for 2022, but for 2023 I can remember we paid £600 per person, and that was for our flights and for our accommodation. We went for about 12 to 13 days last year. It wasn't quite a full 2 weeks, but I think that is an amazing price, £600, and that was flights included, which obviously is a long haul flight. That was luggage, that was everything. The only thing that didn't include was a Uber, like transport from the airport to the hotel. So we just used Uber. I can't remember if we used Uber or Lyft, but we downloaded them both and just compared prices, and we just went with whatever was cheapest at the time. And I got a feeling that Uber was about $30, $25 to $30. It wasn't much more than 40 if it was 40. So yeah, that's the only extra cost we had on top of that £600 in terms of actually getting there and staying in the accommodation. We really liked the hotel. It was more like a motel, so you had like motel rooms. Everything was nice and clean. We had no real problems. The only problem we had last year was our aircon was not really working, but they just moved us to a different room and sorted it fairly quickly. So yeah, I can't really complain. They had like they had 2 pools, I think. We didn't really go in the pools too much because we were just at the parks all the time, but if you're going with a family, they have pools. They have like a little mini golf thing. They had like a massive TV screen outside that you would play Disney movies every night. A reception, obviously. They had a little shop. They had a restaurant that you could pay extra and go to. Ours didn't include the, I don't know if you can get the package that includes breakfast, but ours didn't. We just thought we just go to Walmart and stuff like that, which I'll get onto in a minute about food. But yeah, you could pay extra and have the full English breakfast in the hotel if you wanted to. It was nice to have that option. But yeah, so far we are up to £600. So obviously the next expenditure, which is actually the most expensive, is actually getting your Disney tickets. So if you want to just go to just Disney for 14 days, I think it's about 500-ish pounds. It might have gone up slightly this year. I haven't actually checked the prices this year yet. But obviously we did Universal as well. So in total for both, to go into both parks, unlimited amount of times for the whole 2 weeks, it was about, I think it's about £800, but we used it on Florida Tix last year and they had a bit of a discount. So I think we ended up paying 700 and something. I can't remember the exact amount, but it was between 700 and 800, probably closer to like 750, 760 mark, I'd say. So obviously that's more expensive than the flights and the accommodation, but that is the most expensive part of the trip, is the Disney tickets. But once you've paid for that, you can go in as many times as you want, and you can use all the Disney transport to and from the parks, to and from different hotels in Disney Springs, everything like that. You can use all that for free, even if you are staying off site. So yeah, that's what we're up to so far in terms of cost. Then obviously you've got your food and your Ubers if you're staying off site, which again is the benefit of staying on site, is that you get all your free transport completely included, and also you could get the Disney dining deal and have a lot of your food included. I think they also offer like gift cards and stuff like that when you stay on site, but we didn't have that obviously, so we had to pay for everything separately. For Ubers, I would say we weren't spending too much a day, because like I said, it was about $10 to $15 to get to Disney Park and then obviously back, so we'd spend about 30. Okay guys, my camera died, so I've had a bit of a break in between filming, but I think I was still on the cost breakdown and I think I was still talking about Ubers. So like I was saying, it kind of does depend on your itinerary. So we would literally just go to and from the park, and then if we did go out anywhere else like Walmart or anything like that, we'd walk there. So we didn't end up spending too much money on Ubers, but it really does depend, like if you're then going to go outside of Disney and like go to a restaurant and things like that aren't in walking distance, then obviously you're going to be spending a bit more on Ubers, and also depending on where you're staying, how far away it is from the park. So that's not really something that I can work out and give you an exact cost for. Similarly with food, again, it depends. I can't really give you an exact cost because it depends on how many people are in your family, how much you eat, where you eat and stuff like that. So me and my partner, what we would do to try and get the food price down is we would go to Walmart and we'd buy like cereal bars. They have like massive boxes of like pastries and stuff like that, bananas. We'd get stuff like that, and then we'd have that for breakfast. So most of the time we weren't like buying breakfast in the park or anywhere. We'd occasionally got McDonald's breakfast delivered like a few times, but 9 times out of 10 we were just having like a croissant or a banana or something like that from Walmart. So we didn't really spend much money on breakfast. Sorry, I'm really out of breath because I've gone from not talking at all to then suddenly like talking again. Whew. Pregnancy, honestly, it's rough. But Anyway, so then for lunch, what we would do to get the cost down is we would share a meal, because the portions are massive. So, but again, it depends on your appetite. We were quite happy to share a meal, or we'd share a drink. We also bought like bottles of Coke and stuff like that, Sprite and stuff like that from Walmart, and brought them into the park with us. And then we had a water bottle that we just filled up with the free water. So if we ever did buy like a cold fizzy drink, it would be like one a day, and we'd share that one, because again, they're massive. So yeah, sharing portions definitely helps get the costs down, because obviously park food is quite expensive. So that was lunch. And then with dinners, I would say that's probably our most expensive meal. We didn't actually go out for dinner too many times. I think we went to Planet Hollywood. We tried Blaze Pizza at Disney Springs, but other than that, we ate a lot of like fast food stuff on like Deliveroo and stuff at the parks, which I mean is still pricey, but yeah, there's definitely cheaper ways you can do food and ways you can budget. You could even bring a lot of snacks from home if you wanted to. I think with my son obviously only being 14 months next year, I mean, I don't know what he's going to be eating. Like, obviously I have no way of knowing at this point, but if he is a bit more fussy, then I'll probably end up bringing a lot of his snacks from home. And even still, he won't cost too much in terms of food, because I'm sure he'll probably just share bits of ours. But yeah, it honestly does depend on how many people are in your family, how much you eat, and also like I feel like if it's your first time going, then you're probably going to be more inclined to like want to try all the different snacks and stuff like that. Whereas like with it being our second time last year, we'd tried a lot of the snacks on the first time and sort of knew whether they were worth getting again. So yeah, obviously there's so much money you can spend on snacks and drinks and cool things, especially when you go to like Epcot, because obviously you have like the food festivals and all the food huts and everything there, and it is really difficult to resist a lot of that. So I would definitely say probably budget a little bit more food money for Epcot days. But yeah, again, like I said, I can't really give you an exact budget for food, but those are my tips for like how to get the price down, of like little tricks you can do to save some money for food. So I feel like that's enough about cost. The rest of the planning is a lot of it you do from the Disney World app. So you're definitely going to want to download the My Disney Experience app, link your tickets to them, and I would also recommend buying magic bands, but you can do it without a magic band. Basically what you do with your magic band is you link your ticket to it, so instead of having to tap your ticket at every single ride you go on to, or to make your fast passes or anything like that, you just literally are wearing a band, and once you've bought one you can just use it whenever. We bought one in 2022 and we used it again the following year. You just have to reactivate them, and actually I might actually have them. Oh no, I won't be able to reach them, but yeah, if you don't know what a magic band is, then Google it. It's basically this little sort of like wristband, and you can connect your money to it, you can connect all your fast passes, and it can be like your room key if you're staying on site. And yeah, it's just really great. It also is good if you've got the photo pass. It will pick you up on the rides based on your magic band, so you'll be on a ride and you don't need to think about getting that photo. You don't need to tap at the end, because it will pick up your magic band, and then straight away, well, not straight away, sometimes it takes a little bit of time to like actually go onto your app, but it will be on your app within the day. So there's lots of benefits of magic bands. I would definitely recommend them. They are a bit pricey. I think last year mine was the year before mine was $29.99, but they've probably gone up a little bit in price, and there's more expensive ones you can get. But yeah, I would say it's worth it, but you don't have to. You can just keep your ticket and keep tapping your ticket, whatever works for you in your budget. But that's one of my tips. And then with the My Disney Experience, everything is on there, so you can connect your credit card, debit card to it, and then you can order food, which is another great tip. If you're in like a restaurant, or not necessarily just restaurant, but like you're in a park or whatever, and there's a big queue and you'd rather go find a seat, what you can do is go find a seat, and you can go on the mobile order it on the app, and just literally just do it on the app. Select what you want, select when you're there saying I've arrived, please prepare my food, and then just go and pick it up. It's so much easier. So that's one of the benefits of the app. The other thing is obviously if you purchase Genie Plus. I always say Disney Plus, but it's Genie Plus. So Disney used to have a fast pass system where everyone was entitled to get 3 fast passes a day, I believe. They then scrapped that, I think it was a couple of years ago now, and brought in Genie Plus, which is basically where you pay every day. I think it ranges in price, but I think it's around $15 per person. It sometimes is more depending on what park you're at, and I think how busy the park is, and sometimes it can sell out as well, so you're not always guaranteed to be able to buy that on the day. But that is the only time you can buy it, is on the day, on the morning that you're going to that park, if you have a park reservation, which I'll get into in a second. But yeah, we did it, so last year we did it I think once for every park, or if it was like a weekend and we knew it was going to be really busy, then we would purchase that, and you use the app to basically then book all your fast passes. So with Genie Plus, if I remember correctly, you could book one, I think you could always have 2 booked, and then once you've used one, you could book another one, or if not, then every 2 hours. I think it's something like that. I would have to refresh my memory, but if you watch my Disney World vlogs from 2023, I'm pretty sure I do explain it on that. But that's really helpful as well with the app. It's so easy. You can just see your itinerary, see what you've got booked, change reservations, stuff like that. And that's also how you're going to make your park reservations. So I don't know if this is still in place, or if I think it is still in place, but I'm not sure if it will be next year. But they brought it in after COVID, where you basically have to book a park reservation for each day of your trip, which is another reason why you do need to be planning your trip in advance. I think, I've got a feeling it's, if you're staying on site, you can do it 60 days in advance before your trip, and if you're not, it's 30 days in advance. I'm pretty sure that is what it is. So we just did it as soon as it was 30 days. I never experienced not being able to get into a park. Like, it was never busy, but I went in September, so it's not as busy then. But if you are going in like a really busy time, then I would get on booking the park reservations as quickly as you can, because they might sell out. But yeah, you need to know what park you're going to every single day. You can change it. If there's still availability left, they will let you change it. And what you can do, as long as you've gone into the park that you had booked that morning, once it gets to 2 o'clock, you can then park hop to any park, I believe. We did that quite a few times. Again, you'll see stuff like that on the 2023 vlogs. So yeah, that's another little tip. Make sure you do that. And also, I would say just like make a plan in your head, or like on your phone or in a notebook or something, of like what you are going to do each day, and like the top rides you want to go on, maybe the top food you want to have. And it just makes the whole experience a lot easier when you kind of like have in your head what you want to do. But I suppose that depends on whether you want it to be a surprise. Like, if it's your first time going, you've got to decide if you want everything to be a surprise, or if you want to like have a lot of knowledge about it and know about these rides. I personally liked watching vlogs that I could see bits of the rides. I like watching like ride point of views, and then I kind of gather whether I would like that ride, and then I would plan to go on it, if that makes sense. But again, if you want everything to be completely a brand new experience, then don't do that. Okay, so I've talked about cost breakdown, and I've talked about like the itinerary and planning it. So I think I'm just going to briefly say like my top tips of what you should bring with you into the park. I've got a whole video on this as well. I think in my packing video I show you like what I bring in my park bag. But you're definitely going to want a sun cream. You do not want to be skipping sun cream. You will burn, and it will just be so uncomfortable. I like to bring like a face wipe or something like that if you're going to be wearing makeup, especially like if, obviously again it depends. If you're a girl, if you're a boy, you probably aren't going to care so much about this. A little water bottle. I would say don't get a massive one, because you're going to be carrying it around. It's going to be heavy. I quite liked having like a bum bag. We did have a backpack as well for like water park days or Universal days. What else do you want to bring? Obviously your magic band and your card and your phone. I would bring a portable charger as well if you have one, just because you're going to be probably taking so many pictures. You're going to be on your phone a lot on the app, and it does drain your battery. So I would bring a portable charger. What else? Things like first aid things, plasters, tablets, things like that. Obviously is quite sensible. Make sure you're wearing sensible shoes, because you will do a lot of steps. Obviously again, if you want to like vlog or like do anything like that, then you're going to need a bit more equipment. We had to take quite a few things like a GoPro and stuff like that last year, but obviously that's personal choice. What else? Maybe like some snacks in your bag. Yeah, I think I'll talk more about this in my pack with me. But I would also say like the best time I personally think to go is September, but obviously if you have kids, you're going to have to work around school holidays. People say in terms of the weather that April is the best time to go, but I also think it's one of the most expensive. I've gone in September for the last 2 times now, and I think I'll always try and go in September, obviously until my kids are in school. Then it'll be a lot harder. But if you can't go in September because your kid's in school, I would try and go in like the last 2 weeks of August, like right up until when they go back to school, because you can notice the crowds like quieten down at that point. The only thing with that is the weather can be a bit hit or miss. We had, in 2022, we had quite a lot of rain, but in 2023, it rained once, I think. Not even that, maybe. I don't remember it raining at all, really. But you could be unlucky and get like really bad storms and rain. But what I would say with the Florida rain is, and that time of year, it sort of like rains in the afternoon, but it does clear out quite quickly. It doesn't necessarily like ruin your whole day. You can sort of just go inside for a bit, do a couple of inside rides, or even go back to your hotel for a bit and then come back. It's not really like the end of the world if it does rain. Yeah, it really doesn't matter. Don't get your like heart set on like a certain time because of the rain, because honestly it really isn't that bad in my experience at that time. But yeah, I think I sort of touched upon everything. But if you do have any other questions or things I haven't answered, then put it in the description box in the comment section, and I'll try and answer it. And I'll also let you know next month if we do end up booking a trip. Like I said, it will just be a deposit because we're not like 100% sure, but I'm definitely going to see what the deals are, and I would like to think we could go next year. But obviously it depends, like it depends on lots of things, work situations, financial situations, it just depends. So I will let you know though if we do book a deposit of something in some sort of video in the next month, because yeah, I can't wait for the Disney deals to come up. I'm hoping, I'm literally praying that they bring back the dining plan, as it being included in your hotel trip, because that would be really good. That's another thing I will mention as well, I forgot about that. But like if you are staying on site, there's obviously like different ranges of hotels. So you've got like your moderate, you've got your like value resorts, and then you've got your high-end resorts. So obviously again, that's depending on your budget. We will literally be staying in the most value resort possible. I think it's like All-Star Movies or something is what I was looking at. Any of the All-Star ones, they have All-Star Sports, All-Star Music, and All-Star Movies. Those three are the most value ones, I believe. So yeah, that was the deal we got. I've sort of had a look on the website already, so you can go onto the Walt Disney World website and put in dates that you'd like to go for next year. It will tell you like a rough price. So I have done that so far, so I've got a rough idea of how much it will cost. But like I said, I'm waiting to see how much of a deal comes out. But yeah, we'll be staying in one of the All-Star resorts because it's just the most value. But yeah, I'll let you know if we do book that in like a video at some point in the next month. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it's helped you out if you've got a trip coming up, or if you're thinking about booking a trip. And like I said, if you've got any questions of anything I didn't answer, then leave it in the comment box below and I will get back to you. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe, and hopefully I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.